It's easy for a woman to just sleep with a lot of guys. Go outside and say, does anyone want to have sex with me? You can get it done. If a dude does that, they look at him like he's nuts. A dude, like, you know what changed my like perspective on this is I went to a pickup artist boot camp once. This is the wildest thing I've ever seen. Like, these guys paid thousands of dollars to learn how to get laid. Thousands of dollars, and literally like went through coaching, like trying to figure out how to build attraction with a girl, like all this stuff. So, and I'm just like, all I have to do is exist.
So if we bring that back to what we're talking about, you have a
vagina, you will get laid.
But if we bring that back to what we were talking about in terms of virginity when we were younger, in terms of like girls weren't really thinking about it that much, and men kind of saw it as this victory, right? Isn't that what we're taught? That's what's pushed onto us, that men losing their virginity and sleeping with lots of women is like this, like high achievement. So they pay lots of money because if you get laid a lot, then you're seen as, successful, right?
She's listening to Respond and applying her university propaganda that they've goddamn brainwashed her with to come up with these stupid ass fucking explanations for why men are the way that they are. Nah, motherfucker, we got nuts, we got testosterone, we need to bust down some walls, and it's hard to fucking do that. And the motherfucker will go through any means necessary to make that happen, whether it requires paying $1,000 at a goddamn program or whatever the fuck else it is. Men got to go through all that. Women don't.
Produced historically where 80% of women did. And even up 8,000 years ago, 17 women reproduced for every one man. And so it's like, that's an achievement. Most men don't even get to reproduce. And I know like now, you take away the reproduction because we have birth control, but you don't get rid of biology.
So are we reducing it to reproduction then? So a woman who sleeps
that was
around,
the initial reason for sex.
But we've definitely developed as a society, right, past that point where it's not just about reproduction.
Right. But I'm saying like you can't get rid of the way people feel.
In terms of
like men are naturally predispositioned to be repulsed by a girl that sleeps around. And so I'm just like the same way typically women like men that are taller than us, and men don't come to us and say, oh, you shouldn't like men taller than us. Like, no.
So I would say again that would like
there's some angry little men out there
angry, honestly.
Sorry, continue, Perla.
in terms of that, like evolving over time, right? Biologically evolving over time, I'd say that there's other attitudes that have also evolved over time, kind of, and that are probably taking up more space now. Maybe haven't got to the same point as that same mindset, but I do think we can get to a point where that can shift, right? Mm-hmm. Especially because it's evolved. It's a mindset that's evolved based on what we've been taught. We can be taught different things and change that gradually, but we have to be open.
You're not going to be sitting here teaching the man to accept you being a hoe. It's never going to fucking happen. It's never going to fucking happen. It's like, she's a walking, talking, feminist, womanhood PowerPoint. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lost cause. There's nothing a man can do with that. Which is probably why I think she's bisexual. It's like, she's going to end up being with a woman. Or a very, very soft, self-conscious, incapable man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to be nice with my words, and I'm trying to be cool, bro. But that's crazy. That's crazy. We've evolved past the point where I should be judged based on the amount of bodies I got because sex isn't solely for reproduction and we have birth control. So I'm gonna be out here fucking. You need to accept it. And if you don't accept it, you're incompassionate. You're a fucking asshole. Yep, I guess I am. We don't got to deal with that shit. Just like you don't got to deal with what you want to deal with. And Pearl gave her a perfect example. You want a dude bigger than you, right? She just glossed over that fact and tried to bring it back to the fact that I can fuck who I want to fuck and it shouldn't matter because, we're equal. We're human beings. Blah, 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 fucking blah. Fuck out of here.
As I said, like I would say men are more forgiving with body count than they used to be.
So
I would agree with you that it has evolved. But is it better? Like, are the outcomes better
I would argue,
nowadays?
And then it's hard to find, too. Like, virgins, that's an alien nowadays. So I guess that would be the closest we'd be able to get to men being forced to accept women with, these nasty-ass sexual past because the range is be forced upon you. Like, so maybe we'll get to the point where 100 bodies is looked at as, pure when you got bitches out here with thousands of bodies. You're going to pick the bitch with 100 bodies, right? So I could see that eventually happening at the rate we're going, but just to say it's not important to somebody at all, absolutely fucking not.
That any space that kind of promotes, like I said, acceptance and understanding of why we behave in certain ways and
who
why
cares?
we do
Doesn't matter.
and understanding how it can harm, because I feel like that kind of mindset of like in terms of, you know, if you slept a lot of people as like woman as a man, you're successful is essentially harmful, because it places a lot of that emphasis on that
harmful to
like
who?
It's a fact, though. It's a fact. It's a fact. This is what we were talking about. Not willing to accept accountability. It's a fact. A woman with a bunch of bodies is entirely different than a man with a bunch of bodies. And you trying to change reality is harmful. It's harmful for you because you cannot face reality. It's called lacking accountability. Again.
Masculine.
But the thing is, it's true.
Yeah.
And I just think like you can live in
it's harmful to men?
delusion, and
But
it's
true right now, and I would agree with that. Yes, 100%. I would say that is, if we talk about like the general, that is kind of the general mindset at the moment. I would agree. But does that mean it's the best mindset, right?
Who cares?
And
But
wouldn't it
who
be-
are you to determine what's the best mindset?
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand who you said it's harmful. Harmful to who? Like who's it harmful to?
So
Like,
okay,
I
so in
think
terms of
it's-
like situations like Grape, right? Men who, or like incels, right? Who don't maybe have that same achievement, right? They kind of resort to quite violent means in order to reach that same level of success, or they feel kind of like, you know.
Here she go, placing the fucking minority of situations to prove her point. Like it's pointless to use your hypothetical. Incels, involuntarily celibate men, go to violent means to attain vagina, to the point of grape sometimes. How often is that fucking happening? And how often does bad things just tend to happen in the world, right? Shit fucking happens. But to use that to prove this point of we need to level the playing field for everybody to make them feel better about themselves, no, it's a dog-eat-dog world. It is what it is. Reality is not fair. Reality is sexist. You got to get in where you fucking fit in.
Quite violent means in order to reach
That's
that
crazy.
same level of success, or they feel kind of like, you know, put out because they don't get to be able to do it. And that's why incel culture kind of develops, because they think like a certain group of men only gets all the women because, you know, they're this high level.
Because
and then
that's the way it
often
is.
they turn violent, right? And it can be a very destructive view when you place all the emphasis on that like macho is probably not the right word to say there, that like hyper masculine focus on sexuality and seeing it as something to achieve, right? When we do that and then men don't, and then they don't feel masculine anymore and they feel emasculated by it, and that can turn very violent. So it can be dangerous for society. And I'm not saying this is me, you know, saying, oh, this is...
She's saying a lot of words that means nothing because she's talking about a small percentage of motherfuckers. All this shit means nothing. Let's talk about the real world. Let's talk about the real world. Right. You're gonna force women to be attracted to these incels you talking about? Like, how? Fuck that. We're not doing that. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna fucking sit here and try to fucking bend reality to make motherfuckers feel better. It is what the fuck it is. It is what the fuck it is. Survival of the fittest. If you don't fit in, you get killed off. This is how it goes. But she's trying to fix that shit. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. My bad.
I'm saying it's a point to consider. It's a thing to talk about when we're considering what's best for everyone.
You're actually somewhat correct. It is dangerous for society. What like the more when there's a large group of men that aren't getting laid, basically, that is dangerous for society.
Do you know what happens when men don't get laid?
But it's because the emphasis is on the fact, you know, and that's where we've put
Society
the focus.
becomes more aggressive.
No, males
Yeah,
become more aggressive.
Exactly.
Yeah, men
But
become more aggressive when they don't get
But
laid.
I think that's because of the emphasis that we put on being laid, and essentially
No,
that
it's not-
comes from
it's not
biology.
Ooh, she said because of the emphasis we put on getting laid. Who is emphasizing to men that they need to get laid? They nuts is emphasizing to them that they need to get laid. Bruh, your body is telling you, bruh, you need to fucking pop off or you gonna end up popping off. Bruh. All right. Woo. Woo-saw, bro.
Hang on.
Survival, reproduction, that sort of
It's
thing.
not an emphasis. It's a biological thing.
But we are taught that. We are taught that through biology. That is something that is evolved based on what we've been taught, and through a need for survival, right? To reproduce, to be able
What
to,
do you mean you're taught that through biology? What the fuck?
reproduce your bloodline and lineage and that sort of thing. It's a
Men
survival-based
need to
mindset.
release.
Not.
You don't know what it is.
There are other ways to release. You don't have to release just
hang
through
on,
sex.
Hang on, you're a woman. I'm a man. Men
Facts.
need to release their testosterone. They need to
Women
find...
have testosterone.
Hang on. They need to find a way in which they need...
She she tried to say women have testosterone, so women need to fucking release their That's what you can't write this shit, cuz. You can't write this, cuz. I would just shut up. I would just shut up and just listen to this nonsense, bro. There's no point in me doing this jaw jacking, dog. She's gone. She's gone, bro. Y'all knew what the fuck y'all was doing. Telling me to watch this shit, bro.
To release.
How do you release? Okay. How do you release? What, by shagging some birds?
No,
is that how you release? Is that your release? Is that
right,
sorry? You just said.
Wait. Yeah, I hear you. But what I'm saying to you is, men are biologically wired a certain way. Okay.
Are you a biologist?
Men are biologically wired a certain way.
What is this?
Okay, so what happens in society when men are not sexually what's the word I'm looking for?
Gratified. Gratified. Yes, that's the word you're looking for.
When men are not sexually gratified, they get more aggressive.
Do they?
So
when into the mic, please. Sorry.
When they are more sexually
Why
gratified,
is he trying to fight back on that? That's known, bro. Y'all motherfuckers know, bro. A man that's accustomed to getting fucking sex, and you take like the ability to fucking jack off or watch porn away, bro, a motherfucker will burn a building down, dog. What do you mean? Built up testosterone is real as fuck.
Mm-hmm. They're less violent. Is that what you're saying? Okay, that is the biggest logical fallacy I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's not a logical fallacy.
It is.
It's true. But I would say
Thank you.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we've got 3 men saying it's true. So you explain why it's a logical fallacy.
So you're saying that if I don't get laid, I'm going to hit someone?
I said, you explain why it's a logical fallacy.
Well, you said you've never had trouble talking to women, so you probably wouldn't know what that's like, right? You said earlier in the show you've never had trouble talking to women. Yeah. You're good with the ladies.
Yeah. So you guys should really ask Justin about this.
Yeah.
You guys should really ask Justin about this. He has a lot of study and history and like knowledge on the.
Go on, Justin.
Well, so I mean, it's evolutionary psychology, but more so than that, like I mean, if a man masturbates, he can get it released, so you won't feel as aggressive, right? But I don't know if you guys ever heard of NoFap. I'm a huge advocate for the NoFap movement, and I'm like 7 years into it, right? And I know if I don't have sex for like, I don't know, a week or two, I start feeling extremely aggressive.
Right.
And I think it's very common for men to feel that way because when you abstain from sex, your testosterone's increasing. You need to have that release. And if you don't believe me, go try it. Go stop jerking off, stop having sex for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and see how you feel.
But would you not agree that there's other ways to release other than just sexual gratification?
You're a woman. You're
masturbation
or sex.
Yeah, no, I realize that I'm talking to men. Thank you, but I can enter into the conversation.
Yeah, no, the fuck is not, bitch. This bitch gonna fucking sit here and just downplay the shit men have to go through and saying you don't need to fuck, you don't need to jack off, you don't need to watch porn, you can do something else to get rid of that fucking frustration or that built up shit you got. Why you think motherfuckers in prison is raping other fucking men? They gotta get that shit. Motherfuckers don't even be gay. They don't even be gay. So think about that. They don't need to be gay, but the access to pussy is gone at that point. But they got testosterone built in them so much that just masturbating ain't enough. They go to the extent of fucking another man to get their rocks off, dog. That's the closest they can get to, and they don't even be gay. That's why they turn gay in jail. They're not gay starting off. You know what I mean? But there's other ways to get rid of that. You can go fucking lift some weights. You can go goddamn read a book or some shit. Nah, bitch. That's crazy. That's crazy she just fucking said that.
No, I realize that I'm talking to men, thank you, but I can enter into the conversation and ask about it, right? And I'm saying, are there not other ways for you to release, just sex?
Well,
through exercise, right? Through physical engagement and healthy, in a controlled environment, right?
All right. I'm cool. Hold on, man.
It's not the same as busting a nut.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for being so like.
So Justin, you're
so honest.
You're club promoter. You're
sure.
a YouTuber.
Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So like your work outlet is having conversations like this.
Yeah.
And busting a nut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Sweet.
So how do you manage your aggression? You say you're 7 years into this NoFap. How do you manage your aggression when you feel it coming up? Have sex. Fair enough.
You can try to find other ways to get rid of your fucking aggression, and it takes granted it takes a certain amount of time in certain situations that happen for you to get to the point where you are really becoming aggressive because your lack of a testosterone release, man. But you can only do these other things so much to try to distract you from it. I mean, maybe like meditation, or you got to be doing some different shit and like be changing as a man, bro. But what your typical man who is just moving off his biology, bro. If you don't bust off, it's gonna be problems. If you don't bust off, it's gonna be problems. Real shit. And for her to try to minimize that, like, there's other ways to do that. Like, for a woman to even say that, bro, that's crazy. Like, are you a man? Like, why do you feel that way? That's why I would ask her, like, why do you think there's other ways to get that? Like, what relation do you have to being a man and going through that to say that there's other ways you can address that release other than just releasing that release? Bruh. Bruh.